Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to explore a profoundly human and essential topic in our lives: empathy and compassion. These two concepts are often confused, but they hold extraordinary powers that can not only transform our relationships with others, but also bring us invaluable personal well-being. Why do we, as human beings, have the ability to feel the suffering of others? Why are some of us more inclined to reach out, listen, and understand, while others remain distant or indifferent? And most importantly, why are empathy and compassion key elements for creating harmonious and lasting relationships? In this video, I invite you to discover these fundamental qualities, not only to better understand others, but also to better understand ourselves. We will examine how these emotions connect us, elevate us, and help us navigate life's complexities. Let yourself be carried away in this exploration because, in the end, empathy and compassion are forces that can change the world. Before we start, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, like, and share the video. It is also a pleasure to hear your opinion in the comments. Empathy is a fundamental human faculty that allows us to connect deeply with others. It is not limited to simple intellectual understanding. It encompasses an emotional experience that goes far beyond just listening to words. It is the ability to feel what the other person feels, to live, at times, their emotions as if they were our own. This process creates a true communion between individuals because it breaks down the barriers of separation and allows us to understand what often escapes the external eye: the pain, joy, fear, and hope of others. Empathy is an invisible bridge that connects individuals despite their cultural, social, or personal differences. No matter our journey, our experiences, or our beliefs, empathy reminds us that we are all human, facing the same fundamental emotions. Whether it's a loss, a disappointment, or a shared joy, empathy transcends borders and allows us to glimpse the inner reality of others with an unparalleled depth. It is an opening of the heart, a gesture that brings us closer. However, empathy does not stop at emotional understanding. It also involves action. Feeling the pain of another is not a passive reaction. It urges us to act to ease their suffering or reinforce their joy. Sometimes, this action takes the form of a simple smile, a knowing glance, or a comforting gesture. These small actions, simple yet meaningful, allow the other person to feel seen, understood, and supported. Empathy is also lived in silent presence, a simple "I am here" that resonates in the heart of the one who suffers. It is essential to understand that empathy is not a form of pity. It does not involve placing oneself above the other or offering pre-packaged solutions. On the contrary, it recognizes the autonomy and dignity of the other while sharing a common emotional experience. It is not necessary to know everything about a situation to offer support. Sometimes, the best way to show empathy is simply to be present, without judgment, without trying to minimize the other's pain. It is in this empathic silence that many people find a form of healing, as they feel respected in their experience. Empathy also creates an environment conducive to authenticity in relationships. By opening ourselves to the experiences of others, we set aside our judgments, expectations, and prejudices. We approach the other with humility, recognizing that each person carries their own emotional world and challenges. This allows for true trust to be established, as the other knows we are not trying to change or criticize them, but to accept them as they are. Through this process, lasting bonds are formed, whether in friendship, partnership, or love. Friendships formed through empathy are based on deep mutual understanding. Each individual knows they can be themselves without having to hide or protect themselves from judgment. Similarly, in professional or personal partnerships, empathy creates authentic collaboration as each person feels valued and respected for their unique experience. It is this openness and authenticity that strengthen relationships and make them resilient in the face of life's difficulties and challenges. Ultimately, empathy is not just a human quality. It is an art of living that nourishes all our relationships. It reminds us that every person we meet carries a complex world of emotions and experiences. By choosing to open ourselves to this world, we enrich our own existence while offering the other the space to flourish. Compassion goes beyond empathy. It represents a true emotional commitment and an active response to the suffering of others. While empathy allows us to feel and understand the pain of others, compassion urges us to act to ease that pain. It is the inner movement that pushes us to reach out, offer our support, our help, and sometimes simply our presence. It is the motivation to not remain a spectator of suffering, but to actively participate in its alleviation. Compassion is much more than a simple emotional reaction. It is a force that pushes us to action. This action can take various forms, each valuable in its own way. Sometimes it manifests as a listening ear, ready to hear without judgment, without interruption, allowing the other to release their emotions and thoughts. A conversation full of gentleness, acceptance, and understanding can be enough to lighten someone's burden and make them feel they are not alone in their pain. In other situations, compassion translates into an act of generosity. It might be a simple yet meaningful gesture, offering practical help, whether material or emotional, when the other person is in need. For example, doing the shopping for someone who is sick, or simply preparing a meal for a friend going through a tough time, are concrete ways to express compassion. These gestures, though seemingly modest, can have a profound impact on the recipient, as they remind them that there is human solidarity, a support network ready to lighten their load. Compassion can also be expressed through words of comfort. Sometimes, a soft and comforting word can have a healing power. Simply saying, "I'm sorry you're going through this," or "I'm here for you," can offer the other person a sense of relief, a reminder that there are people willing to listen and support them in their vulnerable moments. Therefore, compassion is not necessarily a solution to suffering, but a way to respond to it, to face it together. It does not seek to fix what is broken, but rather to share in the other's pain, to bring a little light into the darkness. It is crucial to emphasize that compassion begins with oneself. Indeed, in order to relieve the suffering of others, it is necessary to be kind to oneself, to cultivate an attitude of understanding and tolerance toward our own weaknesses and difficulties. Self-compassion allows us to recognize and accept our own suffering without judgment or guilt. By learning to take care of ourselves, to treat ourselves with gentleness and respect, we are then able to extend that same kindness to others. When we offer compassion to others, we become sources of light for those in need. By being open to the suffering of others, we become reservoirs of support, capable of offering love, patience, and understanding. It is in this interaction that the transformation of suffering into a shared experience takes place, where pain becomes less heavy to bear through solidarity. Compassion is also the acceptance of the imperfection of others and ourselves. It is understanding that no one is exempt from trials and that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their faults or mistakes. Through this act of generosity, Compassion paves the way for more humane and sincere relationships, creating an environment where the other can feel accepted in all their vulnerability. Beyond actions, compassion is an attitude toward life. It is a daily choice to consider the suffering of others, to not turn a blind eye to pain, but to respond with all the strength and gentleness of humanity. By cultivating this quality, we can transform our lives and the lives of others, bringing more light, warmth, and peace into a world often marked by indifference. Empathy and compassion are not only human qualities that enrich our relationships with others, they also play a crucial role in our personal well-being and inner growth. By opening ourselves to the sufferings and emotions of others, by feeling what they're going through, we free ourselves from the chains of judgment, ego, and indifference. These chains, often invisible, prevent us from living fully and connecting authentically with others. Empathy and compassion, on the other hand, urge us to let go of our prejudices and emotional barriers, allowing us to better understand our own humanity while learning to respect the humanity of others. By feeling empathy, we recognize the suffering of others without minimizing or judging it. This helps us find a form of inner serenity as we accept that pain is part of the human experience. By freeing ourselves from hasty judgments and impulsive reactions, we achieve a deeper inner peace. This ability to not judge also allows us to better accept our own imperfections and those of others, creating a solid foundation for personal healing. Compassion, for its part, adds an active dimension to this serenity. When we choose to act with compassion, we don't just understand the suffering of the other person. We make an effort to ease it, to offer our support, whether emotional, material, or simply moral. This kind gesture, whether small or large, gives us a deep sense of satisfaction, a feeling of wholeness, because it connects us to our shared humanity. By helping others, we elevate ourselves and strengthen our own resilience in the face of life's challenges. It reminds us that, even in difficult moments, we have the power to act and influence the well-being of others, which nurtures our own sense of worth and inner peace. On a larger scale, empathy and compassion have immense power over collective harmony. In a world marked by increasing individualism, where social tensions and conflicts are often exacerbated by ignorance or indifference, these qualities are powerful antidotes. They break down the barriers that divide us, whether social, cultural, economic, or ideological. By understanding the suffering of others and acting to ease it, we open the door to more respectful dialogue and more harmonious relationships. When we show empathy, we reach out beyond our own interests and immediate concerns, which fosters a climate of solidarity. Compassion, by being an active response to suffering, builds bridges between individuals, allowing us to overcome rivalries and divisions. In a context where individualism is often seen as a way to preserve one's own well-being at the expense of others, these qualities call for unity, reconciliation, and cooperation. They remind us that, despite our differences, we all share a common human experience, made of joys, sorrows, dreams, and struggles. By cultivating empathy and compassion, we contribute not only to our own inner peace, but also to the creation of a more harmonious and supportive world. Through our actions, our words, and our attitudes, we send a message of love, acceptance, and solidarity, which resonates far beyond the immediate circle of people we meet. Empathy and compassion are the keys that open the doors to a brighter, more human world. In conclusion, empathy and compassion are not mere abstract concepts. They are essential pillars for building harmonious relationships, both with others and with ourselves. Through empathy, we learn to deeply connect with the emotions of those around us, creating spaces for trust, understanding, and true communion. Through compassion, we go beyond understanding to act, offering support, kindness, and solidarity to relieve the suffering of others. In this world of rapid change and uncertainty, these two qualities are more crucial than ever. They help us maintain our humanity in the face of adversity and foster the connections that allow us to thrive together. Every act of empathy, every gesture of compassion, creates ripples of change that can make the world a better place. So, let's make empathy and compassion the driving forces behind our interactions, the guiding principles in our daily lives. By practicing them, we not only change the lives of those we meet, but also enrich our own existence. Together, we can create a world where understanding and love are at the heart of every relationship. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it has inspired you to open your heart, to show empathy, and to live with compassion every day. Take care, and see you in the next video.